just, you know what I mean? I was just like writing a little thing. Life can be great. Life can be cool. Life doesn't mean evil. Life is just a passing. Life shouldn't be, life should be free, and life should be...
This is not open, this is not open mic poetry night. Like, do you have a question relating to the topics?
You didn't ask me to open up, so I went and opened up.
It's open up to questions and debate. It's not, this isn't, you know, spoken word night. So
no, but you know what? I'm not debating because
well, this is a debate forum. So
yeah, you know what? My debate is like, you know, I changed my picture again because people keep, you know, saying that I'm not.
So
you know,
whatever, dude. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
I just wanted to sit back and listen to your take on flat Earth.
I have no problem being skeptical about modern scientific claims. I am open to things like geocentrism, but I've watched many presentations and arguments and debates by the flat earthers, and I'm not convinced.
And what doesn't convince you?
Okay, well, the topics today, as I said, are Roman Catholicism, atheists, Protestants, Muslims, pagans. So do you want to talk about that?
Right.
Because I don't get into it.
No, I can talk about all of it. When you talk about Catholicism, the universal term of the word means universal. It's one.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you take out the fact that the Roman army basically got dissolved and turned into a church, well, then they just like carried on their army through manipulating people into what they wanted.
Are you trying to say that the Catholic Church is a pagan entity created by Constantine? Is that what you're trying to say?
But pagan only means earthbound.
Okay, what's your argument? I don't understand what you're trying to say here.
I hear you talking about everything that goes on in the Bible with John and David and Peter and all this. None of those names ever existed.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know.
Is that right? Okay, yeah. Goodbye, dude. I mean, that they never existed. Okay. Flat earthers aren't sending their best if they're sending people that think that John and David. Okay, yeah. Here we go. It's another good one. Good argument, dude. And this is a guy who thinks claims to be a Christian, monarchist. Christ is king, and he says, "I pooped my pants." Probably a Catholic, because that's typically the kind of Roman Catholics that we get. So they're not sending their best, are they? It's funny because every time the Roman Catholics come on, they get totally humiliated and they act like idiots constantly. So please keep sending your poop my pants people, because it makes the Roman Catholics look really good.
Hello, Jay. How are you doing today?
Pretty good. I'm about to convert back to Roman Catholicism, though, because that guy that said he pooped his pants, it was really making me rethink orthodoxy and that I should go back to Rome.
Oh yeah, I also love their great argument. We have bigger followers, therefore we true.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, Islam has bigger followers, therefore Islam true. That's a really good argument. It's fine. Are you backing up a truck, dude?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you got a fire there? You got a 5-alarm fire going off?
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm just making jokes. What's up, dude?
So the question about God then. So I can kind of go through a few steps and just like, you know, prove there's a God, prove he's one, and his revelation is correct.
Yeah, hold on. So
messengers are speaking the truth.
Okay, so we're Christians, so you don't have to do that. We're Orthodox. So this is not an atheist thing, if that's what you were wondering.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm Muslim myself, you know.
Oh.
So,
yeah. Well, we do take issue with that. So do you want to discuss that?
No, we're just discussing, like, you know, just like using logic, reason, and rationality to kind of come to a conclusion or come to some kind of logical agreement that, you know, there can only be one God, because there could not be two gods. Because if there was two gods, they'd have arguments with each other, and then there'd be discussions, and they'd be trying to modify things.
Okay, but how do you know that Islam is true?
So that's what I would say. So if those two, one would want to be superior to than the other, and there'd be an argument and there'd be war.
Okay, I agree with that, but I agree with that, and I agree with that, and I'm not a Muslim. So how do you know Islam's true?
Yeah, so basically now that's a good question, because we believe in in Adam and Eve taken from the tree, ending up in this world, and then going through the trials of this life.
Okay,
so we're all Abrahamic religions here, so we've got a basic foundation of.
Okay, but I take issue with that. But hold on, I take issue with that. I don't think you are an Abrahamic religion.
Okay, it doesn't matter. We're not talking subjectively. We're just talking.
No, I'm saying objective. I'm saying objectively. I am saying objectively, it's not. You're not in an Abrahamic religion.
Well, that's up to you. That's your subjective view, my friend. I'm talking objectively.
It's not. I'm going to make the argument. It's not a subjective argument. I'm going to argue that you're not in continuity with the Abrahamic religion.
Well, that's up. Well, can I just finish my point first, and then
Sure.
you can come with your
go ahead.
arguments afterwards. Yeah. So for God to exist, first to prove that God exists to an atheist. So if there's any atheists listening. So the universe could have come from 4 premises. So we'll go through the premises and see which is more logical, right?
Right. So we're not going to do this. So if you want to enter into discussion about Orthodox Christianity versus Islam, but this isn't a platform for you to teach Islam to atheists.
No. This is actually nothing to do with Islam. This is actually to prove that the Creator exists.
Okay. Well, then I can just argue that you're not arguing for the Islamic Creator, and so therefore Islam isn't true.
No, but there's one objective creator, there isn't there? There's one creator.
Why are we supposed to believe that? Well, how do we know? So, but it doesn't teach Islam? Your argument doesn't teach Islam?
Because atheists' main question is who created God. So I'm trying to answer that question.
All right, this is not good. You're missing the point. We're moving on. Let's see who's next. If an atheist or a Muslim wants to come and present the Islamic argument against Orthodox Christianity, you're welcome to. But we're not going to do the dumb natural theology argument that he's trying to do. So again, Muslims, if you want to come debate, you're welcome to debate. You're not going to let you just ramble forever about, I know you think that the Bible is false because the patriarchs sinned. But that begs the question, right? Because we think that humans sin. So you need to address what the actual positions are. You can't just you're not going to do the spam Muslim thing. That only works on the lowest IQ people. We're going to address and we're going to pick apart actual arguments. So the fact that you think that prophets and patriarchs couldn't have sinned is dumb. It has nothing to do with whether Islam is true or false. Because in our view, saints are still sinners. They still committed sin. There's nobody sinless. So that's not going to determine which position is true or false. That's why you have to study and look at the systems and how they compare to one another. And you don't follow the religion of Abraham. You think you do, but you don't. Yorgi again says for $1, explain the history of barbarians who were Arians and how they changed Roman church and brought their false theology and heretical priests. There were a lot of Visigoths and who adopted Arianism, and they brought that into specifically the Latin Church, and it spread to Spain, and so the Council of Toledo is trying to deal with this. So this is unfortunately where we get the filioque, right? I mean, at least the spread of the filioque, because it's perceived to be a way to counteract Arian arguments. And actually, if the filioque had been restricted to just an economic sending, then that would be fine. That actually would be potentially a way to argue the full deity of Christ. But the problem is that Roman Catholic Trinitarian theology eventually ends up confusing the economia with the intra-Trinitarian processions and origins of the persons. So that's where it becomes a problem. Mute yourself and talk. Mute and talk.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
So I have a question.
Okay, but mute yourself. Mute yourself and then talk.
All right, 1 second.
Dude, I'm joking. He actually did it.
Oh, I'm joking too.
Okay. Go ahead. What's up?
So if someone was, let's say like a Muslim was challenging the concept of the Trinity,
Mm-hmm.
and they were saying, well, you believe you're a tritheist, and we say, no, we're not, because we believe they're three persons, but they share one essence, and that's why we're not tritheists. And then they said, well, when most people think of a god, like a deity, they're thinking about the person, like the personhood of it, and that's what makes them like one god versus two gods versus three gods. So when you say there's three persons, that still sounds like it's tritheism. What would the response to that be?
I don't understand the objection. When people think of a person, they think of God. How did you phrase that?
So essentially the argument would be, well, if there's multiple persons and the word God refers to like a deity, which is
okay.
Like comparable.
So I would reframe this question as we do in several of the debates. For example, in the debate with Azrar Rashid, where we reframe the question to say, well, so wait a minute, are you saying that every notion of multiplicity suggests multiple deities? Because Islam has the exact same question and problem that we have when it comes to multiplicity in regard to Allah. So what do all of the 99 names pick out? You see how it's so they're trying to play a gotcha on us when they have the exact same issue and problem. It's just not with persons, it's with all of the different attributes and names of Allah. And so that's why I always bring the question back to things like, okay, well then what happens when Allah creates? What happens when we say Allah is these 99 names? What is that picking out? And that's why, do you see what we're saying? They're not getting, they just have they're saying that we're not subject to that problem because you say three persons. And I say, okay, well you say 99 names. So does that actually pick out distinct things in Allah or not? And if it does, then, and the names are meaningful, then you have the same problem I do. It's just not in terms of three persons, it's in terms of 99 names. So every theistic position has the problem of explaining in what way different names pick out one deity. And the only difference is that our deity is different in regard to three persons. Does that not make sense?
No, I see what you're saying, but so for example, like with human beings, right? If there's three people, we would say that there's three human beings.
Yeah, but the mode of existence of God is not the same as the mode of existence of creatures. So human beings are discrete, distinct, separate people. The Father, the Son, and Holy Spirit are not separate. Hence we believe in perichoresis, that they indwell one another.
That's right. Oh, okay.
So in other words, they're putting on us a requirement that their own theology texts in the Sunni tradition say you can't ask that question of us. Literally. I brought it up and I cited it. I've still got the source. Kai has the book. I don't have that actual text. I have the screenshot of the text where in the Sunni debates, when the question is raised, well, how do the 99 names and the various attributes of Allah, how do we escape the question of what we say to the Christians about Trinity? And it literally says that is not an appropriate question to ask. You can't ask that question.
Yeah, I just listened to your debate with him.
Oh, okay.
And I remember you saying that, yeah. Because it's like the worldview deconstructing question.
Yeah, because they're not actually, they're saying that you have to answer this, we don't.
Right.
And their whole, 99% of their apologetic, 95% of their apologetic is built on that. Three person, three God. Like that's all they do. Over and over and over. Jesus never say he God. Yes, he does. What are you talking about? The whole Gospel of John, every chapter claims it. Gospel corrupted. Okay, well then how come the Quran says it's not corrupted? I mean, it's literally the dumbest stuff ever. Like it's I can't believe so many people believe this stuff. It's like, but anyway, the Stanilo book that I just got is really good on this in terms of kind of restating and boiling down the Trinitarian mode of being that he went into in this book, right? So in this book, it's really difficult. A lot of people had a hard time reading that book. It may be sold out. I don't know. This one might be sold out. I don't know. But this one is kind of simplifies all that into one chapter. But it's the same arguments, by the way, in this book. So the Trinitarian mode of being that Losky has a whole chapter on. The same thing in the Stan Eloy book, right? I mean, they kind of go in different directions with different arguments, but it's the same stuff you hear me say. I'm not coming up with crazy stuff. I'm just getting it from other Orthodox theologians that I read. So that's where I'm getting all this stuff.
Not much. I didn't think I could speaker.
You're here. What's up?
That is how life works, you know.
Yeah. Did you have something you want to present or talk about?
No, you guys are talking about the debate between atheism and Christianity. I just kind of wanted to give a shout out to
all the atheists and the theists.
Gnostics, you know.
Okay. You give a shout out to the Gnostic. Are you a Gnostic?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Why do you think, should we all be Gnostics, or is it just a thing for you?
I don't really believe in forcing anything on anybody. I don't really think that's my
Well, I was talking about forcing it. I would just meant in the sense of convincing people. You think people should be convinced? Do you think it's true?
I do think it's true, but I don't feel like I have to push it on anybody, or that anybody has to really follow what I say, you know? I live by what I live by. I don't expect you to.
Okay. Do you think you could defend Gnosticism? Like, can you present a case as to why it's true?
Well, I mean, I was kind of just pulled out of the woodworks. I didn't think I'd even get in here.
Well, I mean, you requested it says debate, and you requested to speak. So.
Yeah, but I didn't think I'd actually get up here.
Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna have to call it an evening. It was a good time tonight. Thank you guys so much.